We're live. Jamie Holt, welcome.
Hello.
Hello, talk to me. So, how do we know each other? Know of each other, I should say.
I think I've been in your world for a couple of years, actually.
Yeah?
I think I saw a lot of your LinkedIn stuff a couple of years ago on Facebook, though, strangely. And I've always kept one ear to your stuff, even when I've been mad, because my main business is actually website design.
Okay.
So like my primary business. So I've never really, up until the last 10 months to a year, really delved into the content side of things and things like that. But something you said to me, or not to me, something you said a few years ago really struck a chord with me, and it helped my business no end. And it was one tiny little thing, and I'd never paid for any of your stuff. I wasn't in any of your programs, but I saw you say, it's not forever, it's just for now.
Yeah, it's one of my sayings. Yeah.
And honestly, I wear so many different hats in my business that we got a retail side of the business, and I do some recruitment consultancy. And it really allowed me to switch my mind off to the noise. So sometimes I can put out content that is just focused around retail, and then just focused around recruitment, and then just focused around web design. And sometimes that might only last for like a week. But that really resonated with me. So that's why I always kept my ears open to Helen's stuff.
A bit of wisdom. I think that came from my own emotions around business. It was like everything was like felt so transient anyway. So it's kind of like you just, it's not going to be around forever. And particularly social media stuff, like it's definitely.
That's it. I think the feed moves so quickly. I don't know whether you open my eyes to that, open my ears to that, but the feed moves so quickly that you can literally. I'm not advising that everybody does like 10 different businesses, but there's no reason why you can't be involved in more than just your core business, or more than just your core topic. There's a whole plethora of things that people are excited about, passionate about, and I think hiding them away so you can, and especially career people quite often think they can't post on social media because they've got a job. Because they need to focus on their career, when actually I found out over a decade ago you can do both. When you're passionate about something, all of a sudden, even after a 12-hour day, you're not tired anymore. You're not too tired to put work into something else. So I don't see why anyone should stop themselves or hold themselves back because of that.
Well, this is really one of the things we were talking about today, wasn't it, about what holds people back. So I've been coaching entrepreneurs for 5 years now, and I know I'm like famous for the LinkedIn thing, but the LinkedIn thing only works when you do the coaching and the mindset and the strategy work before you start using LinkedIn. So my stuff's really simple, right? You do your 3 things a day, you add people every day, you engage every day, and you put out content every day. Should be really simple, right? But people don't do it, right? The reason why we've sold like millions of pounds worth of the LinkedIn mastermind is because people need to be in a community to get themselves into a mental place where they have the clarity and the focus, and then get over those mental barriers, like to actually put themselves out there, to even start writing, putting content out there. And that is massively the thing that holds you back. So when you were talking about it, I was like, I really want you to come in and talk to my communities about this, because it's such a massive thing. And because I don't have a mental barrier to copywriting, because I just like, I feel like, right? Anything that comes into my head is content. Anything I think is content, right? So I really want to bring experts in, because that is something that I can't always,
See, I think for me, I did have it. I had that fear. I mean, we're going back quite a few years, but I had that fear. The worry about what people might think or how it will be received. But I think once you can get past, and quite often, I mean, I won't produce content for service-based businesses anymore.
Right.
I won't do it. I'll do it for myself, and I produce content for e-commerce businesses. But if a service-based business comes to me now, I recommend that we spend some time on the phone, on Zoom, on a call to get past that mental barrier, because 99.9% of the time it's just that. Because somebody will come to me, and for years they would come to me and say, I need content for this, this, and this. So I'd say, okay, pay the invoice, blah, blah. And then I would get them to send me the content. So they already had the content. And I always say, nobody will talk as passionately and with as much detail about your business as you will talk about your business.
Yeah.
So it's just getting them over that hump. And quite most of the time I say to people, write the post and send it to me first. The post that I think I've posted about it a lot recently, but the one that people they're scared to post, send it to me first.
Yeah.
And once they've sent it to somebody, it's almost like all the nerves just dissipate. And there's some tweaks there around copy and who you're talking to and client, but the major hurdle is definitely getting that first bit done right in the poster. I show people examples of my content. So for like a week, I will send them a week's worth of posts, my posts. I'm like, go and copy it and just change it to your business, because you won't be talking about my business. So you're not plagiarizing my content. You're using the framework. You're putting your business around that framework. And I haven't developed to that framework. I've just learned over time from other people. So I give them tons of images and snapshots and screenshots of content and say, just spend half an hour to an hour structuring your business and your words around my content. So just copy it, put it on paper. Once they've done that, all of a sudden it seems a lot easier. And then I will say, go and post it. And most of the time people will just go and post. They just need that reference point, that checkup to say, actually, nobody cares more than you care about that content. So when you click post and you get the heart palpitations, they quickly disappear. Well, watch how quickly the feed moves. You click refresh on any social media platform, it's gone. You would have to search to find your own content.
I always say, like, the disappointing thing is I get people into a frame of mind where they can actually go and do it, right? And then they go and do it. And the thing is, not a lot happens. A lot happens in your head and sometimes in your body with a physical reaction. But actually, in terms of what happens next, it's usually nothing. Because most people who are in that state of fear haven't really got a big audience. So when they do post, not many people see it. Not many people interact with it. They haven't got a big audience. You haven't got, you haven't been posting yourself. You haven't been engaging. So you haven't got that kind of energy around your content yet. You will have if you keep showing up, but it's like, it's kind of, I didn't start and think I can just post anything and people will buy from it, right? I just started posting and nobody interacts with me. And this is what I say to people all the time. I've done more posts that have had zero engagement and more lives that have had zero people turn up and more guest experts to like 1 or 2 people, than I have done to things that have gone really well, that have gone, they've got loads of views or loads of people have turned up. Like, the reaction to your content shouldn't be the reason for you to be inspired to do more content. You should just do the content. It's kind of like, this is what I say to people, I want you to focus on getting it done, not on what happens next. It's like, because if you're consistent with your posting for 90 days, you will feel better about posting. You will be more confident about what you're posting. You'll have got over a lot of those hurdles. But we can't get there without getting there.
No, and people new to social or new to business, quite often that their business will live or die based on consistency of content. That's it. Anything else, if they've got money for paid ads or paid media or buying media, they don't need the content. So if they're at that stage where they go in, Jamie, I need help, I can't put content out, I'm scared, I've got a job, I've got this, I don't know what to write. At that point, it's mission critical, because their business is going to live or die based on the lack or proficiency in content.
Yeah,
I advise people minimum 2 posts a day. I think you're 4, aren't you?
I don't say minimum 4, but I say minimum 1, right?
Because I say minimum 2, because I think there should be a sales post every day.
Yeah.
And I tell people right at the start, I have 4 sales posts that I've used now for probably 4 years. And they're right across my social, and quite often, sometimes I tweak them or tailor them, but quite often I will literally copy and paste them out of my content folder.
Yeah.
And they're the same sales posts that I use. So I tell people to build that bank, get those 4, send them to me, and then let's work on posting them every single day.
Yeah.
What that leads to is having to post more content, because you don't want to just be pumping sales content out there once a day, every day. The rest of the content client testimonials, feedback, polls, ask your audience questions. All of that has to come, because otherwise you're just chucking out a sales post every morning.
Exactly. Yeah, like I do the same sort of thing. I talk about 4 pillars, and they are stories, video, social proof, call to action. And I think I just literally got off a client call today, and she was like, "I've not got any sales calls booked in, and I just don't know what I'm doing." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Let's go and have a look." But you've not put a call to action out for months. Like, people, all those new people that you get in don't know what you do, and they don't know how to buy or what to do next, or how to buy from you. But people get so caught up in the, well, what will people think? They'll think I'm desperate for sales, or they'll think I'm, I think I'm too salesy, or I'm spammy, or whatever. And it's like seriously, people don't think that much about other people. Like,
they literally don't give it that much thought. Nobody cares. But post what you want to post, because nobody, and the people that show an interest, even they don't really care. You might have twigged on a heartstring that might solve a problem for them. All the others, they're just as likely to scroll as they are to click on your content and do more. And even if they do click, read, and aren't interested, most people are not there to comment, drag you down, beat you up. They just go off it and move on to something else, no matter what you do, whether it's business focused content, personal content, or anything else. If enough people see it, there are going to be people that make negative comments. But that's with any content. So it may as well be business content that can lead you to a better life. Why not make it that content instead of somebody moaning at you for posting a dog photo or a picture of your cat? Because somebody's going to moan at some point. So let's make it business content so that it can actually work towards building your business.
And it's just, I mean, Rochelle's on the call, she's watching live, and we've got a product together called the Content Ideas Generator. And that is basically a collection of my prompts that I asked Rochelle, and I do ask clients all the time when they say I've got nothing to post. I'm like, right, give me 10 people who buy from you, 10 reasons people wouldn't buy from you, 10 things that people say about you, 10 outcomes you deliver. But then there's personal side of it as well. So 10 times you felt like giving up, 10 people who've really helped you, 10 things that you feel really passionate about outside of your business, 10 things you love to do outside of work. And then I said to my client, who was the one who's like really like head in hands, at the beginning of the call, I was like, right, those things you told me that you love to do, I want you to post about each of those things on LinkedIn, and I want you to go and do 3 of them before our next call, because she's just so stressed out. But I think a lot of people feel like they have to be, particularly on LinkedIn, they've got to be professional. They can't, it's not Facebook, they can't post personal stuff. And they end up putting out this really kind of stiff, branded content. Where you just can't even get past it to see the person, right?
I think that's why I've resonated with a few people with my stuff, is because I like I say, I literally send them examples and pieces of my content, and some of it is shocking. I am way too open, way too public about what I do on weekends. It's not exciting. It's just very, very honest. So I think quite a lot of the time people see that and think, wow, that can work. And all of a sudden the stuff that they think they need to post can have a real quick change, because they go, oh, actually, I can be a bit more flexible with it. I can be a bit more comfortable. And I at max, I will do 2 calls with people, because I don't charge too much. So I don't want to be on there every week with them. But when I do 2 calls with people, the difference in people between the first call and the second call is literally night and day, because they send me a few posts, send me a few images, we talk a little bit, and I can almost feel the breaking down in their mind. Once they, and it's not nothing special I'm particularly doing, I don't think. I think it's just having that sounding board. Quite often when people get the words out, they sit back and think, yeah, that sounds really weak and feeble and not who they are. Some really confident people struggle to post content online. Sometimes when they get the words out, where they say it to somebody else, whether it's me, you, someone, once they get the words out, they'll get off the call and think, wow, it sounds a bit weak. It sounds a bit, that's not me. It causes them to revisit their thoughts on that. And like I say, sometimes by the second call, I quite often see people posting a lot more. Just after the one call and that one discussion.
You can create monsters, right? Because once people get it and they're like, oh,
yeah, that's it. They come along.
They're like, great. And it becomes easy. I always say, like, you don't have to post on social media. Like, you get to post on social media. What a gift, you know?
The opportunity that it gives
you. You know, you're not going and picking bodies up off a motorway. You're not caring for people, you know, life and death situations. You get to post on social media. People see your stuff and people buy from you. Like, this is, as a marketer with 20, probably 25 years experience, it's like, this is like a gift from God, you know, it's brilliant. And LinkedIn particularly, obviously I'm evangelical about LinkedIn, but it's like, it's a standalone marketing machine. You don't need a website. Sorry, Jamie. But, you know,
yes, you do.
Sorry, Jamie. You don't need all of this really to get started, and it's completely free. So it's kind of like, I want people to just shift their mindset and be like, wow, this is great. This is
that's it. And I think the quicker people can make it a non-negotiable for themselves, I'm like, that's my day one. I think the product that you saw was 7 days of content. I was posting about that. The sales page is very detailed about the mindset, because that's where most people's problems are. And on day one, so people buy the products, they get the PDF. The first email that they get says, if you're not prepared to consider content a non-negotiable in your marketing strategy, email me now for a refund.
Oh, nice.
Because I'd rather not tell people what they don't want to hear. They have to accept that, like, content is a non-negotiable. The way that the feed moves, the world works, and marketing right now, content is non-negotiable. In 5 years' time, when your business is where you want it to be, that same content then goes into paid ads. So you're not getting away from content. No matter what you do, you're not getting away from it. It's non-negotiable. You need to lock yourself in a room now and start producing the content that you need to. It's not going to be the content of 5 years' time. Yes, it's going to need tailoring. Yes, I speak to a copywriter all the time about my own content. I don't have an issue publishing the content, but it sometimes needs tweaking to get the end result. So yes, you might need to tailor that a little bit, or work on your clients, or work on who you're speaking to. But the actual posting of the content and the creation of the content is non-negotiable. It's impossible. If you can't get past that, give it up.
I mean, this is it. Like, honestly, if you're not prepared to show up on social media, like, how do you think clients are why would clients show up for you? Like, you got to meet them halfway. You can't just sit at home, like, being a really good practitioner of what you do and expect clients to just fall into your lap. So if you're not prepared to go knocking on doors or pick up the phone, I mean, there are other ways to get business, right, without using social media, but it's right there, it's free, and it's really simple.
And I think that's the key. The door that social media opens gets people. Don't get me wrong, direct response marketing works. I still like print advertising, and there's no ignoring any of that. But the door that social media opens for people looking to start or grow or enhance a business is too good to pass up. And if the one thing that is stopping people is that fear that I talk to, I think we should all aim to get past that, because the opportunity at the other side of that mental barrier is unrivaled. We've never before have we had such opportunity to do what is possible now with very, very little time spent. I mean, I've recently cut back my own content output because I've been so busy, but it just means I have to recycle some of the gold that I've produced over the years.
I can't understand it when people so people come to me and like, I didn't post yesterday because I was at a conference, and I'm like, did you not go to the toilet? Or did you not have 10 minutes while you were brushing your teeth, or 5 minutes when you were waiting for the kettle to boil in the morning? Like, it takes 30. It doesn't, I would say the post doesn't have to be great. It doesn't even have to be good. It just has to be posted. And if you're having a shit day, and I get accused quite a bit of like, oh, Helen, she's always telling people, oh, they won't name me. They're like, well, some people say you should post 4 times a day, and, that's going to make you ill and, burn you out and make you stressed out. It's not. It's nonsense. But they want to sell this dream of, I just post 1 killer post a week, and all these clients come to me, and that's what people want to hear, right? People don't want to hear they've got to do the work, right? So it's fine. But I'm like, it doesn't have to be brilliant. It doesn't have to be this huge value add piece of work. If it's just a couple of lines that you copy and pasted, or just a link to your scorecard, or just something, you know, whatever it might be, or just a couple of lines saying, I'm at a conference today, here's a picture. Like that's enough for the day. But I would say when you stop, the problem you're going to have is like in 6 to 8 weeks time. So the posts you don't do today are going to impact you in the future. Not today, you know, but the posts you do today are going to impact you in the future as well. And that consistency, like I say, I really want people to take that message away. It has to become a non-negotiable part of your routine, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what's going on in your life, regardless of what happened last time you posted, regardless of what kind of engagement you're getting or not getting. Like, we are not 13-year-old girls on TikTok, right? We do not let our emotions be dictated by people's liking and commenting and sharing our stuff. Your job as marketing director of your business, you all want to earn 10 grand a month. You're getting paid 120 grand a month after tax. Your part of your job for that money is to get on social media and do 20 minutes a day. That's it.
Yeah, and it quite literally is that. The 3 posts I did today are all recycled content, but I just tweaked them a little bit. So the one I put about nobody caring earlier today, that was a text post that I turned into an image slideshow really quickly. It literally took me 10 minutes in between two recruitment calls to repurpose my own content into a text-based slideshow on LinkedIn. And if people will look me in the eye on a Zoom call or Zoom like this and say, I haven't got time for that, I will happily tell them that they're lying to me. If getting more clients for your business is not important enough to you, give it up now.
Game. Yeah, you're in the wrong game. Yeah. You say that to people sometimes. Like, maybe it's not for you. Maybe running a business is for you. Maybe you want to have a job where you go to work and turn off and forget about it, right? Or if you really want to make this business work, I mean, you know, people say to me, oh, you know, I can't, I'm really struggling and blah, 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 but I want to have 6 weeks off from my kids where I don't have to post. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. You can't afford to feed your children. So you can't have 6 weeks off. You have to take them to the park and go on your phone and do a couple of posts. You have to stick them on an iPad and do a couple of posts. You have to, while you're making their tea, do a couple of posts. I'm not talking about huge sacrifices. I'm talking about 10 minutes here and there.
That's it. A maximum 30 minutes a day can literally have people. I mean, I don't often talk about numbers, but on one of my sales pages, I've got a figure on there that certain posts contributed to, and the time it took me to produce those posts are it's disgustingly disproportionate as to how much money I got off of, I have had off of those posts a few years later. I'm talking like I've got a lot of kids here, and I'm talking like right. I'm not joking. I've got 7 kids.
You've got 7 kids.
Yeah. And
wow.
So some of my social media posts have literally been written in the kitchen by hand and then transferred and I'm still using them now. But the time that it took me to produce those posts, I go into detail in an email somewhere. I've still got it. Is, like I say, disgustingly disproportionate because what can come from that is off the scale. It's unbelievable. Once people see it and they're like, wow, I've got a client, wow, I've got a lead, wow, I've sent this quote out, wow, I've got a call with somebody tomorrow. Once they see that, like you say, you can create a monster within yourself because you suddenly light bulb switches on and you're like, wow.
Yeah. But it takes time to work, right? So you've got 7 children. So for anybody watching this who's coming to me or just thinking in their own head, this is really hard for me because I've got 3 kids or 4 kids or 5 kids or 6 kids. Look at Jamie's managing it, right? And you know, I love that because again, people say to me, oh, it's really hard. So I do this. I'm like, if you're watching this, and say I've got a big audience, it's a free thing or whatever, and I'm like, I'm feeling a bit feisty. I'll be like, okay, so I want you to put in the comments what your "it's all right for you, Helen" comment is, because I want to hear it. Right? It's all right for Helen because she's got an audience, or she's this, or she's confident, or she's done this before, she's sold loads of stuff, or she gets it, or she's been doing it for you know. And I also want you to write in that it's hard for me because that's the other thing, right? Oh, it's hard for me because I've got kids, or I've had a tragic thing happen to me, or something happened in my childhood, or something's going on in my life, or there's a pandemic, or whatever it might be, right? Everyone's got those statements as well. It's hard for me and it's easier for them. Actually, it's not particularly.
I think that people just justify it like that. I have to audit my time quite a lot, and that so you have to be really honest with yourself. You're like, actually, I spent 40 minutes wasting time there. I spent an hour doing. I spent 2 hours doing this. I slowed down coming out of the gym, or when you really look at the time that you spend on things. Me and my wife did it a couple of years ago with tea. I drink a lot of coffee, but she drinks a lot of tea, and the amount of time she was, and that wasn't from me. I wasn't like telling her she had to stop drinking tea. She did it for herself, but she was like, do you know, I spend 3 hours a day drinking tea. She drinks a lot of tea, and she was literally spending 3 hours a day drinking tea.
Thinking about it, going.
Yeah, no, and when you audit that time and think about it, all of a sudden that's one excuse gone. There's no way. Time should never be an excuse.
Anybody who's watching this is like, time is a problem for me. I haven't got time, right? If you're up to date with Johnny and Amber, if you are up to date with This Is Us, if you have watched anything that's in the top 10 of Netflix right now, you have got time. You are just not using your time effectively, right? I've got teenage kids. I've got 4 children myself. I've got teenage girls who are more demanding than toddlers ever were. I've got, 4 children at 4 different educational places. So you imagine what that's like on a daily basis. I've got a school refusing child, so that's up and down all the time. Like, we've got 4 businesses between us. I'm launching a startup. I'm running a business over here that's got, hundreds of thousands of people involved in it. Like, so everyone's busy, right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that as well. I've also got a school refuser kicking around there somewhere.
Make millions and build a school, yeah.
That's it. We do the day to day, and then at 6 o'clock tonight, we have a retail side of our business that runs out of a warehouse. It's listed on Deliveroo and Uber Eats locally. It's only local around in North Devon. But at 6 o'clock, between 6 and 9 o'clock tonight, that will be on, and I can't ignore it. If something happens and there's a disaster in that business, I still have to be switched on between 6 and 9. Quite often I'll be staring at Deliveroo and Uber Eats tablets whilst I'm creating more content, and that's between 6 and 9 after I've done a full day's work.
Which is better as well. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's particularly, I think it's just, I call it like mission over mindset in the moment. So like, however you feel in the moment is not really relevant. The big mission is the important thing. So it's like when you have a job, you don't feel like going to work, you still have to go to work, right? Bad things happen to you, you still go to work if you want to get paid. It's just discipline. Now, one of the things that I also say a lot, and it'd be interesting to see what you think about this, is to create content before you consume it. And what I mean by that is go on and post your stuff before you start scrolling the feed. Because I feel like I and a lot of other people can really fall down a hole there. And you almost, A, you forget what you came to do. B, you change your state by reading other people's content. That's what it's there for. So you kind of, and then I know a lot of people do this, not me so much, but people will see other people who are kind of doing the same sort of thing and then be like, oh, I was going to post something like that. And now it'll feel like, I'm copying or something like that. So I feel like starting to scroll is the worst thing to do when it comes to getting on and doing your content, right?
100%. And I think that started for me 3 or 4 years ago. Have you ever seen the Simon Sinek video about millennials? It's about addiction to mobile phones. So from that, my solution was phone outside the bedroom at night. So I get up in the morning, go to the gym, and then post when I'm finished at the gym. So I will always I look through my feeds. You'll always see my morning posts. I have very set posts, and quite often they'll be very similar, especially my Saturday posts. I do pretty much the same post every Saturday, but I always do that before I get back from the gym. So in between finishing the gym and coming home, I will put out between 2 to 4 posts, because by the time I then get home and go up into the office, chaos is usually ensued, so I don't get time to scroll. Phone out of the bedroom, post before I get back, and then once you're switched on, you switched on.
Yeah, when you can focus, yeah. Which is kind of like what I'm saying about when you go in the toilet or whatever. I do a lot. So particularly when I was single and I was building my business really aggressively, and we were in this real high growth period, I used to do most of my marketing before I got out of bed, because it was just like before I got up with the kids and everything, I was just like, it's quiet, I'm just going to get on with this and focus.
Yeah, almost get it out of the way.
Yeah, get it out of the way, because it's like going to the gym, isn't it? Like, if you go to the gym in the morning, you're much more likely to keep going to the gym. If you say, I'm going to go to the gym at tea time, it's like so much can happen to derail you before then, mindset wise and just logistically and physically. And, it's just life can get in the way. So it's kind of get it done. And then I call it like mop up later. So I I talk about doing 4 posts in the morning. I don't care. They're all on top of each other. At least they're done, and they're just going to run all day. And then in the evening, if you do want to dovetail it like that, it's kind of mopping up any comments, any reactions and leads and that kind of stuff. So, you know, I don't think you have to have a certain time to post, because
definitely not. And sometimes I will, if I sometimes I might get to like, and genuinely I'll get to 6 posts deep, and I'll think I've gone a bit overboard, so I'll just email them to myself, and it'll come back. I'll set the email to come to me at 5:30 in the morning, so then I'll have it for the next day. So quite often by Friday, if you see me post on a Friday, I've not produced that content on a Friday. I produce it early in the week, and sometimes I'll get to like say 5 or 6, and I'll email it to myself and just set it to hit my phone at 5:30. So then at 5:30 on a Friday morning, as I'm going into the gym, I'll just copy and paste it and post it.
Right, that's a good tip then. Like email it. So when you have the ideas, email it to yourself for a certain time. And be like, right.
Yeah, I do it, and not just with that particular example. Quite often, I talk about some of the tools that I personally use to make that side of things easy, because it's a bit crazy in this house and all over the place. Quite often I'll send myself an email, and I think I can't be dealing with that email at 8 o'clock tonight, so I'll set it for a time in the future, like Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And so then when it comes, not only does it take me by surprise, and I think, I've got 2 extra bits of content, so I probably forgot about it. But also, it allows me to make sure that I'm tailoring that, so I've got it in the future.
So I talk a lot about content prompts and just having the questions ready to go and answering lots of questions and just picking one a day, having that for your video, having that for your story, doing a bit of social proof and putting out your standard call to action, right? What do you say to people when they say, yeah, it's all right for you, Jamie, but I struggle about things to post? How do you think?
I will send you an email every morning at 7 o'clock with a content prompt for 30 days.
Nice.
I've got them written already. I've got a 31-day calendar, and if somebody says that to me, I schedule them an email for 31 days, or depending on the month, however many days.
Yeah.
And every morning at whatever time we decide, I will send them that email, and it's got content prompts in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to do a bit of work behind that. You have to have the post ready or have the thought ready. But if we can build those in advance, you've got a few littered through the month. But as standard, content is some of the content prompts that we need to do. They're so easy to do that a poll about an element of your particular business is seconds to create, gets tons of mileage. And so if I say on a Thursday, if I send someone an email saying, do a poll about the technology used in your industry, it can take them 5 minutes and all of a sudden they've got traction, they've got eyeballs, they've put out content, and it has a snowball effect, because by the end of the first week, I can talk them back and go, so you post twice on Monday, 3 times on Tuesday, twice on Wednesday, 4 times on Thursday, and all of a sudden it's gone. The mental barrier is gone, and then by the time they get my 29th email, I'm just going straight to junk. They're like, "Shut up, Jamie."
I got it now.
What I'm already doing. Shut up.
I like that. So is that a program that you run then? Is that like a product that people can buy?
Yes. I wouldn't say it's a program, because it's automated. So people buy the product, but they go into an email series. Okay. I do give them the option to email me for a one-on-one, because I charge for the product. So part of the upfront product is you can have a one-on-one. But other than that, they will literally get a content prompt 2 content prompts every single day for up to 31 days.
I like it. Everyone jump on that. How much is that?
£99.
£99, Jamie. Of course
It used to be 145. That was my initial thought was 145, but 99.
It's all automated, mate.
That's it. I think, like I say, I give people the option. My email is all over it, so sometimes I do get emails that I don't.
How can people get hold of you if they want to buy that, or they want to?
7daysofcontent.co.uk.
7 days of content.
Yeah, with all words, no numbers. 7 days.
7 days of content.co.uk. Okay, that's good. I once set up a business which talk about you should sell something before you create it. It was called 30 Days of Social, and it had its own branding. It was all about superheroes, and that was like similar to that. It was like, we'll message you every day with a different social media tip, and it just completely flopped and nobody bought it.
Honestly, you should put that into an app. I don't know if that's a thing, but I had the same thought. But I spoke to a couple of app developers, and I didn't have the energy for it. But that should be in an app.
We should JV on it, Joe.
We should.
I'm sure you got plenty of time and nothing else going on. But the funny thing is about time is when you look at time like we do, which is like we've all got the same amount, and let's just don't get cancelled for saying that, but you know what I mean? Like you just get on with doing the things that you need to do. I always think that you can just expand the time to do more of the things. The more the people you meet that do loads of things, you're kind of like, well, they can all do those things. So surely,
and I think all of a sudden when that fire lights inside you, when you get that passion for something, all of a sudden time's not an issue. As soon as your fire's lit about something, you will find time for it. And I know people don't like hearing that, and I'd be exactly the same. Sometimes they're like, oh, I ain't got time for that. Actually, it's not enough of a priority. It doesn't light me. It doesn't set my soul on fire. It doesn't light me up. Once that fire is lit underneath you, time is a non-issue.
I love that. That's a really powerful concept, actually. And again, something that I do say, it's kind of like, if you really can't think of things to say about the thing that you're selling,
don't sell it.
You are not in the right business.
Yeah, 100%.
But you're not selling the right thing. And I have seen that with people. They've come into my world and not been brave enough to do the thing they really want. So they've done the thing that they can do. So they've done that and they've really found it a slog. You know, I'm doing all the posts, Helen, I'm doing everything. I'm not getting clients. It's because the energy is not right. And you don't really want the clients. You don't really want to do the work. And I talk about value driven profit. And then when they can see it works, but it just doesn't feel good. But when they reinvent themselves as their new thing, right? And then they go to LinkedIn, they're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah, they live and breathe it then. And that's why I said earlier about I won't produce content for service-based businesses anymore, because no matter how much energy I put into it, and I won't lie about it, that's just money energy, because you're paying me to do that for you. The energy that people can put into their own content for their own business, nobody will speak as passionately about your business as you will. And if you can't, then you're in the wrong business. That's not your business. It's an expensive hobby. It's a comfort business, whatever it might be. If you can't speak passionately about it, it's not for you. If you can, nobody else will speak that passion like you do, no matter how much you try and get somebody else to do it. And I'm not saying outsourcing doesn't work. I outsource myself. But I think when it comes to a service-based businesses, you have to live and breathe your business. It has to be in your blood, in your veins all the time. And that those people that can't switch off are the people that excel at those things the best.
I don't even understand the concept of work-life balance, because it's all just a thing. Like, it's all just my life. Like, I just get up and I run my businesses and I have a life as well. It doesn't seem, there's no like, right, so we've both got businesses. So it's not like we go, right, we don't talk about business after 9 o'clock or whatever. Like, we're always talking about work because we're so passionate about what we do. I've really noticed this as well with candidate funnels, which is my new thing. And I've completely redone my LinkedIn to focus on that. I am obsessed with it. Like, I am like deep in the honeymoon period with it. I'm telling everyone about it everywhere I go. I'm talking about obsessively. I can easily think of a million things to say about it. I can't wait to get people on calls to talk about it. I'm like literally telling people in the pub about it. And you just feel that energy again. Yeah. And like, it's just so exciting. Like, I want that for everybody. And I think that's really
I think sometimes people need that conversation. People need to be told, maybe this is not your business. Maybe you need to think about something else. And yeah, it's difficult because not all passions make a business. So some people might just need to sit back and go, actually, I'd be better following a career. So sometimes it's a difficult conversation, but with the right people for the right business, if it lights them on fire, and you can tell fairly quickly if somebody comes to me for content or to discuss putting out content, I will tell them first, I'll say, look, I've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. I want to use them in that proportion. So tell me about your business. And if they then rattle on for 20, 25 minutes, I know we've got something, because those people find it very easy to talk wildly about their business. They're in the right game.
I mean, it's just the best feeling in the world. Like, Daniel Priest was asking about selling today. And I was like, I love sales. I love the sales process. I love getting people onto calls, and I love closing deals with them, because I know what I do massively helps. And it's a bit funny you saying about the disproportion between the effort it takes. So we run a scorecard for it. So like I say to people with scorecards, just post it 3 times a day, every day for 90 days. And they're like, well, and I was like, just do that. And then let's see where the scorecard's at, right? Just got to get leads in there. So I'm doing my own LinkedIn now. So I do all my own content on LinkedIn. There was a time where I outsourced some of it. But anyway, back doing it myself. And I have to take my own advice. I'm like, I'm not doing a video for a while, or, I need to post more. But I never think, I don't know what I'm going to post. And I can just copy and paste the link to the scorecard. Yeah. So it's not like it takes me literally 30 seconds. I post the link, people fill in the scorecard, they go into our lead funnel, I send them a message, I send them a video, they book a call, we get on a call, and I sell them a real big, thousands and thousands of pounds solution to the problem, right? I'm talking about like minimum 30 grand deals and open-ended at the top end. So it's like, why wouldn't I post the link?
Yeah, well, once people see that, it's disgustingly disproportionate. Once you can do something and you live and breathe it. So, like you say there with the scorecard about that particular business, you're living and breathing it. So that comes through in everything you do. So as you're it may feel to some people like you're just copy and pasting a link.
Yeah, I am.
The blood and sweat and the living it and breathing it has already gone into that. The link's just driving people there. The feeling, the energy that comes from that, people will feel that as they go through your funnel, as they receive your emails, as they receive your messages. People can feel it. People aren't stupid.
Yeah, people can feel it, and it's exciting. It's exciting. And when I say sales calls, it doesn't feel like a sales call. It's literally like, I really want to understand what's going on for you, and I really want to help you. Like, I was literally saying to a lady today, I was like, I really want to be your secret weapon here and fix this problem, so you can take all of the credit. Like, I'll take the money, you the credit, because I want to help you here. These are people who've got problems that we can fix, right? So there's people in jobs who are looking for solutions to problems, and they will invest to get solutions. But they're all on LinkedIn. They're sat on LinkedIn thinking, I've got a problem, I need to fix it. And then you get to put your content right in front of them and go, have you got this problem? If so, I can fix it. Take this next step. It's like, it's just genius.
Yeah,
really.
Quite lit, and that's where it goes. It's definitely it's a mindset thing. It goes right back to that mindset thing. The more people can think about that, and then at the point where I speak to people, they're like, oh, I need to post on social media. I've got no content. I need images. I need this. I need that. I'm like, well, just let's get the first post out of the way. Just one post. So I'll say to them, go and write me a sales post, a call to action post. This is the problem that your customers got. This is how you solve it. This is how they can buy it from you. That's it. Just go and do that. Just one small call to action and send it to me. And that's just one little brick in making that wall. And bit by bit, people slowly sometimes, but sometimes not, people will slowly realize actually it's way easier than they're building it up in their mind.
It is definitely in the mind. Someone said to me on a mastermind day, like, Helen, how do you manage your energy? You're always online. And I'm like, my energy, I love it. Like, I do. It's trying to do admin. Then you can see me to manage. Then I'm stood in the fridge eating the ham out of the packet, right? Because I'm like, I do not want to be doing this admin, right? But like, the energy of it is easy. But what I do also, having helped all these people over the barrier. Like, so it's easy for us because we're, I suppose in a way, because we're just like on the other side of it. But helping people over the barrier is so powerful. Like, I mean, do you see this? When people go from, I really don't know what I'm doing, I feel really uncomfortable, to doing it, particularly video for me, because that's a big part of our pillars, right? But once they get over it, it's such a magical moment to see them develop as a person.
Yeah, it can be like a different person at time. Like, say, before I actually packaged this up into anything, I'd done it with a few people anyway, and people were like, oh, well, can you talk to me about? Can you help me with? And some of it was business owners that wanted to do their own content. So I worked with them bit by bit, and the difference in people from day one to, like, say, 2-3 weeks down the line is tangible. You can feel it, you can taste it in those people. Once they feel that, and quite so many times it's just a case of getting them to the first couple of posts, even without traction, but they see that actually it's not as scary as they thought it was going to be. It's not painful at all.
I think it's some of the best personal development you can do, to feel really, really, really resistant to do something, and then doing it is almost like it's just showing you the thing that you need to do to get over. And if you can get over that, you can get over the next hurdle and the next hurdle, and it's like, I don't want to do this next thing in my business. Well, I didn't want to post on LinkedIn, but I did that. And now I've got past that. And I think it's like, how does that ripple effect impact people generally, like in their lives, in their businesses, like just how people walk and talk? And also getting them over that hurdle means that they're going to get more clients. More clients means more money improves the way that they feel. So one of the other things that I do sometimes when I'm really digging deep with somebody is I talk about, maybe it's not about you. Maybe it's the people you're not going to help by not showing up. So if you keep yourself small and you keep yourself safe and you don't post and you don't make yourself feel uncomfortable and you're not visible on social media, think about, because all my people in my world are great people doing great work. Normally very caring, you know, they're on a great mission. They're really making a difference and they really care about the work they're doing and they're having a great impact with the work they're doing, but they're just doing it in a small space. But what about the people that need you that will never find
You're
you?
letting them down.
Letting them down, yeah. I was like, think about your last client that found you on social media. If you hadn't done that post, you wouldn't have worked with them and you wouldn't have helped them and you wouldn't have had that impact. So it's almost like, yeah, you're leaving all those people stranded. So it's kind of like, come on, let's do it for them if it's not for you. And I think it's really powerful for people to put themselves in that position where it's kind of like, if you don't do anything on social media, you're definitely not going to be further forward in terms of generating.
That's it. It has to be. That's the first step. You have to make it non-negotiable today, now, whenever it is, whether it's now, a week's time, you have to make it non-negotiable, because the alternative is exactly where you are right now. That's it. You will just stay exactly where you are. You don't want to. Any paid ads, paid content, media buying is going to need your content anyway. Yeah. So content has to be a non-negotiable, and it's only going to get more. So the quicker you can get started, the further along in the queue you're going to be across social media. It's not going to change. The content age has been here years, and it's only getting more and more. Every new platform that trends, that comes to the forefront, it's more and more and more about content. The age is lowering, obviously, because we let our kids have phones now, but the content non-negotiable is not going away. People can't avoid it.
No, I totally agree. So what do you think about people on LinkedIn who profess to be complete content experts and say things that you maybe don't agree with? Like the people who I think make things really complicated. You know,
I think it suits. Yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from. I think it suits their business to say those things. Yes. I think when you're charging people for content packages, content coaching, all of that kind of thing, it suits them to make it look like what it is. And I think, I think I've over-indexed on the bad content that I've put out previously, because I've been very, very comfortable posting it. And I think it's been easy for me to do that. And I always say some of my best performing posts have had the least interaction. Yeah. So, and then those people that talk about, certain times of the day to post and all, it suits their business to do that, because that's what they're selling.
I would say people make social media marketing really complicated so they can charge you to show you how they can help you understand it. So whereas I make social media marketing really simple and then charge you anyway. It's kind of, I don't try and make out like there's some magical secret. I'm like, here, this is all, like, you know, here's all of the stuff that you need, but I know you're going to need my help because of this mental barrier. So come into the program, or, you know, invest in something or somebody to help you, one, get over the mental barriers, but two, hold you accountable. I think they're the two things. Do you see like momentum swing?
Yeah, I think the accountability is quite big. I think it's the same thing. That's why I'll happily send people my posts. I'm like, go and copy this, because I always, maybe some arrogance, I think they won't do it like me. Like they won't do it. But also they will talk about their business just as passionately as I would, and you would talk about yours. So yes, you can be very upfront about how simple it is, but delivering it is where you make the difference. You become the leveler there. You become the differentiator there, because delivering it how you deliver it makes the difference. Yes, it's very simple, but you make it easy.
I think people do need to see, sometimes we get this in the programs. It's like, oh, I need more accountability. I need, you know, when we put things in place, you know, accountability buddies, there's calls that people can come to and stuff. And it's like, there comes a point in your business where you have to hold yourself accountable. You can't have to need somebody all the time forever. Yeah, like you say, first 30 days, first 6 to 12 months, right? You got to get that momentum up and everything. But after that, what I think people really struggle with is that it doesn't work straight away. They don't put a post out and people buy straight away. And I think people struggle with what I call the gap, or the I hate Helen phase, where they do all the work and nothing happens. And they're like, nothing's happening. I'm not getting any leads, not getting any engagement. You told me that this would work, and it is going to work. But you've got to keep them on the bus in that gap, which is one of the reasons why I love polls and I love scorecard, because I think it brings people to you closer and quicker to get that kind of interaction. But it's like making people see that it's not a massively instant quick win, right? It's like anything. And I'm glad it isn't a quick win. Otherwise it'd be easy and everyone would do it, right?
I think so. And that's why I lean, I think on day 6 of my emails, maybe 5, I can't remember. I moved to talking about variety of content, because the quicker we can make, or people can make it interesting, the longer they're comfortable doing it, and they start to enjoy it. So they start to look at different options, like you say, polls, questions to the community, images, carousels, slideshows. Having that variety of content really, I found, really helps people stay on track, because they don't feel like they're just pushing out the same load of text-based posts all the time. Having that variety of content whilst they get through, I never called it a gap before. While they get through that gap can make a real difference. Because
there's a gap, there's a good and a bad gap, right? So if you're like flying and you're marketing and you're getting loads of leads, what happens to a lot of people is they're like, they get stuck in delivery. I'm so busy with clients, I've not been.
They stop.
And then you're in the gap, and it doesn't seem like it's making any difference that you've not posted, because it won't for a bit, and then it'll fall off a cliff, because you will have that consistency. And the same as if you are doing it all the time, and you're doing it now for the leads in the future, not for the leads right now. So when you think, I posted and I got a lead, it's like, it's not because you posted that time, it's because you've been doing
4 weeks ago.
People come to say, someone like Phil Harrison, who does 5-day challenges, and go, can you do with me what you did with Helen, which is take me from 200 to $1 million in a year by doing 5-day challenges? And he's like, yes, as long as you're going to do the 3 years Helen did before we did that, which is
come back to me in 3 years.
Really focused, posting every single day, multiple times a day, multiple platforms, whether people were showing up or not, being hundreds of guest experts, hundreds of podcasts. Go and do that, and I can absolutely make that difference. But I feel like you have to become time served. You got to grind it out. You got to do the graft, right? And then you can afford to outsource it and, whatever, and not do as much of it and use paid advertising or whatever you want to do. But I feel like everyone should do the first couple of years.
Yeah, and I think it's really, that's where, again, it becomes a mindset thing. So you get past that first hurdle, and it is then another repeat of a mindset thing. You have to dial yourself in to, that the grind. You're either going to be sat there worrying and stressing about not being able to post on social media, or you're going to do it and then worry and stressing about it not working. But at least you've taken the action to make it work in the first place. And that's where you can make the difference. Getting past that next, like you say, gap, hurdle, next mental block, just helps you to work on yourself a little bit more. We lie to ourselves so much all the time. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then we just justify why we're not doing it. That when it comes to content and putting out on social media, it's very, very easy to lie to ourselves again, to the point where we might even realize that we're doing it. So I think, like you say, having that accountability, having that someone to bounce your ideas off and pull you in line does make a big difference.
And permission. I think a lot of people want permission. You must get this. Like you say, people want you to go, yeah, that's fine, go and do that. And they're like,
post it.
Yeah, do it.
Quite often I'll reply, post now. I want to see it. Post it now.
Yeah.
And I'll go and like it and comment on it for them.
Yeah, on the calls, people are like, I've not really posted today, and it's like, okay, we'll go and post now while we're on the call.
Yeah, do it now.
There's 20 people here. Well, you can go off and do a post, and we can all go and look at it if you want. You know what I mean? Like, and I've done it in my small group mastermind as well. One of the girls, I've just not posted my scorecard. And we're like, we'll do it now. What's wrong with now? Now's
the best time. I think that giving, like you say, giving someone that permission, or just nudging them to do it. Sometimes it has a double effect, because they're encouraged a lot to do it. So like, somebody literally told me right now to go and do it, so I have to do it.
Yeah, I sometimes say that. If I was like, when in the old days we used to do workshop and stuff, I like, go and post now on LinkedIn that you're having a workshop with me. Take a photo and post it. Tag me in. That's why I used to get loads more workshops, because I'd have the whole people there. Like, workshop at Panorama, like whatever, But it's like, sometimes people do need that step-by-step thing. Do this thing.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think people get lost in the overthinking and the procrastination, and then the excuses come in, and people don't do it. So, this has been really good. I've got to go. I could literally talk about this all day, but like you say, something you're passionate about, then it's easy, isn't it?
Very.
Well, I hope that's really useful for everyone, because this is going into my paid programs, and
have fun. Good.
Yeah.
I hope I've given some value somewhere to somebody.
I really like that, definitely about making it a non-negotiable, and just stop lying to yourself, basically.
Your business will live or die based on the consistency of your content on social media. That's it.
Not the quality, the consistency. The quality will go up and down over time, because that's natural. You're never going to be great. You're never going to write that one killer post. So just consistency is the thing. Yeah, I agree.
Non-negotiable consistency.
Hopefully that's useful. Hopefully people go off and do the thing now.
I hope so.
That's really useful. Thank you. And it's very nice to meet you.
Finally. And you, Helen. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Bye.
See you again. Bye.